my gosh, for anybody who's tuning in for this one, for my Tea with Aerie, time for a little sip and share. This is take 2 because technology and I are still learning how to be good friends, and apparently I didn't have any sound the last time I tried this, so let's try again. If you join in and you can hear me, give me a little thumbs up so that I know to keep going or not keep going. Okay, so today I really was tuning into what do I want to share? What would be really exciting for me to share today? And I was looking at like what have I recently dealt with or helped some clients move through. And it was really around our core wounds and the stories we carry. So if you're not familiar with core wounds, it's this idea that we all have some deep, old stuff that happened to us and have formed a story that really impacted the shaping of us. And a lot of times the core wound story shows up in our inner critic and that voice in our head that just tears us apart. So we all have this inner critic. It can tear us apart so quickly. And what I want to call out is that we all have it and we don't talk about it enough. And there's usually a theme. Most people have 1 or 2 big stories that are being carried out all the time. And they get especially triggering. They can really pop up when there's stressful situations or when we're in partnership and our partner just taps lightly on that core wound. We're like, we feel it all. And a lot of times we attract a partner whose core wound kind of perfectly matches ours or mirrors ours. So unintentionally, most of the time, we are pushing on each other's core wounds and it hurts and we don't know why things don't feel so easy, why it feels like a struggle or why we feel triggered so often. And it really goes up if the stress level goes up, right? If you are low on your resources, if you're not getting enough sleep or you need to eat or you're under an influence of any alcohol or anything, or you're tired, right? Then it's so much harder to stay resourced and be with ourselves and stay in our healthy selves. Instead, we get triggered more easily. So let me just briefly talk about core wounds today and something I was helping some of my clients with yesterday. So we've all got these big stories. So it could be anything. It could be I'm not good enough is a really big one. I'm gonna be abandoned. I'm gonna be rejected and abandoned is another big one. I'm not considered is another big one. So tuning into like, do any of these resonate, or any other ones that really stand out for you that you carry with you? And you'll know what the story is because when you're triggered just a little bit, when all these emotions come and it feels harder to stay regulated in yourself and your nervous system, that's probably touching on your core wound. What is that story that's playing in the background? What is it? And just really tuning in. So for this couple I was working with, I was encouraging them to really tune in. What is the story each of you are carrying? And share that with each other. We don't talk about it. And if there is a common story, which usually there's usually 1 or 2 common stories, and we share it with our partner, then we're not doing this alone. We're not trying to deal with the inner demons alone. We're not inflicting more pain and getting stuck in the same patterns because we have each other to help regulate each other. We're a team. We're in each other's care. So allow yourself to be in your partner's care if you're in partnership. And if you're not in partnership, then that's okay. But noticing what is your core wound story that you're holding so that if you decide to be in partnership in the future, that you have this awareness, you can bring it to them and ask for help. And you can learn your partners and you can help them out. So when I say help them out, and this is something I learned from one of my favorite coaches and mentors, Jen Underwood, this is something where you get to tune in to what is the story and what is that little part of you, that little girl, that little boy, that inner child that didn't get the exact parenting or the exact coaching or the exact love that you wanted at the time. What does it need? And how can you give it to yourself now? And I'm not blaming parents. Your parents and caregivers are the best they could with what they had at the time, the resources they had. This is not a blame, shame, guilt thing. This is purely, parents aren't perfect. I definitely know that. We're all human. So now you get a chance to reparent yourself, and you get to ask your partner to help you create that sense of safety, to help you really tune into what's on your heart and how it's been hurting or stuck. So for example, one of my client stories was, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And I asked her to tune into herself, like what would that little girl really love to hear when you're feeling not good enough? And she tried to find a phrase and a way of being held, physically held, that would feel really safe and comforting to her and help her nervous system exhale, to go from being dysregulated to being regulated with the help of her partner. So she found a phrase, and I think hers was something like, baby, you're more than good enough. Or, I love you unconditionally. Like, you find what yours is, and you can play with it. What is yours? And so when her partner notices she's becoming dysregulated, he can tune in and say that to her with the movement of touch if she wanted that too. So for them, they were able to like hold hands and look each other in the eye, and he's like, baby, you're more than enough. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Even when I hear it from Jamin, like there's a part of me that's like, BS, that's totally not true. There's no way he loves me unconditionally or whatever it might be, right? And that's that inner critic and the ego really trying to stop us from getting the medicine we need. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Find what helps. When you find the phrase and or touch that helps your whole system just go, when that little child inside of you is like, I feel safe and I'm coming back into myself again. I'm coming back into my healthy self. That's where the magic is. And it can change over time, but I want you to find yours. What is your phrase? What is your type of being held that feels really good to you? And for him, it was something around not feeling considered. So if we know that his story, whenever he's getting triggered, is probably around not being considered, what is the phrase that would feel comforting to him? And for him, it was something around like, hey, baby, I am here with you and I'm considering you. Right here, right now. I'm here. And his whole system went, she sees me, I'm being thought of, I matter. And it's just like together they were able to help each other come back into their healthy adult selves instead of being stuck in that triggered little child. It's beautiful. So if you're tuning in and you are not aware of your core wound story yet, then I invite you to just think about it or pay attention this week, tuning in, like, what is it? What stories show up as you're moving through the day when things get tense or when you feel that inner critic? If you want to learn, and then once you get an idea of what that story is, then what would you like to hear and or feel from your partner to help you regulate yourself more? And it could be from a close friend. It could be from a roommate. It doesn't have to be just a partner. So that's what I wanted to share today. And if you want to learn more about these kinds of tools and about how you can be with your wounded child self, about how to deal with trauma, about how to be in relationship with somebody when you're triggered, or just really learn incredible techniques for being on the same team as your partner and really choosing to be in each other's care to make magic happen, then message me. I'd love to chat with you about what is available. I've got 2 amazing Relearn Love programs, one for couples, one for singles, and there's so much beautiful depth we can go into, and I really want more ease and joy and connection and healing for you. So thank you for tuning in to my little Tea with Aries sip and share today, and for hearing what was on my heart as I was just reflecting back on my sessions with my clients. I really appreciate it, and hopefully this was helpful. Sending you a lot of love. Bye.